Hello, world. Brian here again. Welcome to my ministry. I'd like to start by saying to always remember God in our lives, to give Him the glory in everything that we do, keep Him in our thoughts always right where He belongs in our hearts, our minds, and in our souls. So today, getting to the topic, I want to talk about words. So are words really all that powerful? I guess is the first question I'd like to ask. You would think they're really nothing more than sound, you know. They have no physical substance at all. There's really not much to them other than they're just words. They're just floating around out there in the air. Or are they? So are words really all that powerful? You know, it's hard to say. Just how powerful are words? Let's start with that. So one example of the power of words might be when a judge can send you to prison for life with only a few of them. Okay? That kind of lends some power to words and what they can do. So because we as humans are emotional creatures, words have a huge impact on our lives. Lyrics in songs, for instance, can have a massive emotional impact as songs have a strong tendency to evoke memories. So, you know, we have a tendency to associate a song with a particular memory, and this evokes an emotion, whether it's sadness, gladness, you know, joy, love, hate, even. So the words, as in lyrics, you put them to music, and they seem to become even a little bit more powerful. They evoke these emotions that bring out memories from the past. You know, when we evoke words like love or hate, and we actually say these words out loud, it elicits a response from other people. If you say the word love to someone, it may generate or elicit a response of joy, of love in return, all kinds of things. If you say the word hate to someone, it may evoke an anger response. So it's hard to say. I mean, but words are obviously, because of our emotions, words are very, very powerful to human beings because of our emotions. So what if we were to remove, well, actually words, you know, when you look at words, words are also those things that we remember when people we admire and consider great people might deliver powerful speeches that resonate throughout recorded history. These are things, you know, again, powerful words that we remember and, again, elicit emotional responses. So again, moving on, what happens? Do words still hold the same kind of power if we remove the emotional attachment to them? What if we take emotion out of the picture? Do words still hold any power then? Or are they just something that fill the air? Well, if you take emotion out of the picture, you might look at things like commands that are given to soldiers. There's no emotion involved in a military command. A military command is simply, I give you an order, you follow the order. There's no emotional anything attached to it. It's just, that's it. So there are consequences involved if you don't follow that order. Or if you do follow the order, it could be positive consequences, positive reinforcement as opposed to negative reinforcement. So it's hard, again, words, all involving words. So words still have, or even commands that are spoken to dogs, for instance. A dog simply minds that command. He's trained and he's taught to obey that command. And so he just does it. There's no emotion involved. He just obeys the command. So words without emotion still have power. They are still powerful things, these words. So, in fact, words actually, they don't even need to be spoken. They can be written. Words actually assist us with instructional content, help us to learn. certain things or even construct things, instructions to build something or construct something. So we learn from words. Again, still power, nothing is even spoken. It's just written down. So the Bible is actually a great example of this. The Bible is filled with words. It's here to help us gain a better understanding of how we should live our lives to attain a better and closer relationship with God and with Jesus. So again, more words that are there to help us, to move us in a particular direction, but the right direction, a good direction, as opposed to what may be not so good. So the Bible is actually, even it's filled with words telling us about prophecy in the future. So we can learn from that and hopefully learn from the mistakes that we're making now so that we don't continue to make those mistakes moving into the future. So the Bible is there. It gives us prophecy. It gives us these words of prophecy to tell us what's going to happen if we don't do something about it. So there's all of that. Words actually have great meaning and impact. So we're look at everything that I've already talked about so far, and it doesn't matter. You can have emotion in the picture. You can take the emotion out of the picture. You can write the words down, and they still have impact. It doesn't matter. So here's another aspect of things. Is there actually more to words in general than that maybe we don't typically consider? Now, what I'm thinking of in this case is the greatest of all the words that have ever been uttered was when God spoke everything into existence. Now, nothing is more powerful than that. In the first book of Genesis, we learned that God said, and through these different verses, God said this, God said that, God said this. And as he spoke, things happened. He actually created matter, transformed that matter, made it into something, which in this case was the universe, the earth, everything on the earth, everything in the universe, everything that has matter, has substance, light even, photons. God said it, and it happened. He spoke the words, and what came out of those words was reality, was matter, was light, was whatever the case may be. When he spoke it, it happened. So basically, he said certain things. The universe, light, the earth, and everything else came into existence once he spoke it. So the power of words actually extends far beyond just emotional impact and commands, or even the written language. The Ten Commandments are words, for example, and this was written in stone by God's own hand. So, and extended to humans from God himself through Moses as an outline of how we need to live our lives. 10 simple rules for us to live by so that we don't fall into sin. I say simple, right? But when you're reading these rules, these 10 rules, they sound simple. They sound like it's something that should not be any problem whatsoever. And yet it's a huge issue. People break these rules all the time. Don't even mean to. It just, sometimes it happens, and you don't mean for it to happen. It just does. And so we have to be very, very vigilant when it comes to certain words, how we obey those words in commands, And that brings us back to commands. Commands can have a negative or a positive impact depending on what you do with those commands. So the commandments, the same thing. Positive or negative results depending on how we treat those commandments and whether we obey them properly or not. So basically, and when we look at words are really not, you wouldn't think anyway, they're really nothing more than an extension of our thoughts. We think it comes out of our mouth. So the words that we speak are an extension of our thoughts. They're tangible. They have impact with everything around us. When we use our words thoughtlessly, for example, it can have a negative impact to everything around us, to other people around us. When we use forethought and compassion before we speak, they can have a very positive impact. Jesus himself actually told his disciples, and this is quote, "For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he says shall come to pass, and it shall have whatsoever he says." Or he shall have whatsoever he says. Sorry. Anyway, Jesus said that. He quoted, that's a quote. I believe it was in Mark. So, the book of Mark in the New Testament. So, I mean, even Jesus, he tells you, if you believe, if you know it in your heart, you believe it in your heart, and you believe, in other words, you believe in God, you believe in Jesus to the point where you say to that mountain, you move, you go to the sea, you dump yourself into the sea or whatever, and it will happen. Jesus said it. It will happen. But, and he even said, if you even have the amount of faith of a mustard seed, there was that quote as well. So a lot of things going on there. As far as words, though, words are very, very powerful. They are not just empty air. They have power over emotions. They are used to command. But they are actually so powerful that they have been used to physically manipulate matter itself by the Almighty. So, I mean, I could go on quite some time on this topic. It's really something that we could talk about and go in depth into. There is so much about it, but the bottom line is that and the reason I wanted to go into words is because I actually believe myself that they're just words. So what? Shrug it off. It's not a big deal. But that's not really necessarily true. Words are very, very powerful things. And so I just wanted to touch on this a little bit and kind of hopefully make a point that words are actually considerably more than many of us actually give them credit for. So anyway, I think with that, I'm going to conclude today's topic. In the next episode, I think I would like to lean back into science a little bit and talk about things like Fibonacci sequences and the double helix in our DNA, that kind of thing, and how it is, where we find it in nature, how it fits into nature itself. So I kind of want to touch on that and get into that in the next episode. So I would like to mention in closing that I've included a link to a PayPal page. And I say this every time I put out a video, but I've included a link to a PayPal page where if the Spirit moves you, you can donate whatever amount you might like. Every little bit always does help. If not, that's okay too. It's not a big deal. Please at least like, share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube. And to subscribe on YouTube, I guess you have to subscribe, and then to be notified when I put out new videos, there's a little bell-shaped icon. You have to click on that too. And to click on the bell icon will allow it so that you will be notified whenever I put out a new video. So that's just to let you know that. And always probably the most important of these is to share. Share on SharePoint, share from YouTube, share from wherever you can. The reason being is that other people, to let other people see these videos and hopefully get the message out to them as well. Messages. So the one of the important things here that I want to bring up is that when money is not an issue here. It's something that money is always going to be a donation kind of a thing. It's not necessary. It's not the most important thing in the world. It's just something, if you feel like donating, it's great. The most important thing here is that the messages in these episodes get out to people, that they're always free. Free is exactly how God intended these messages to go out, his message to go out, and any message associated with him to go out. Jesus never charged anything when he was out preaching the gospel. He never charged anybody anything. And much in that vein, I want to make sure that I put my messages out there, the messages that I've learned, and to make sure that they are also free to everyone. So these go out onto YouTube. I put them out on Facebook and on Instagram, and anybody who wants can have access and watch these anytime they want to. So that is as God intended it to be. My goal here is simply to help those who might not otherwise find Him to hopefully find their way to God. And so until then, until next time, be safe, be kind to others, love your family and your friends and those close to you. Love God and His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. Show them plenty of love. And talk to God through Christ, through Jesus, in prayer regularly. And while you're praying for yourself and your loved ones, always remember to say something good and positive for those who are less fortunate. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have an absolutely splendid day. Until next time.